My name is Amberlie, and this presentation is to inform you about my internship experience this past semester. I view my internship as pretty out of the box, and I'm pretty excited to give you some information about it. I began to look for an internship 2 semesters early. That was going to give me enough time to figure out which direction I wanted to go with it. And there was a few different places that I talked to before I finally settled on an internship. I talked to LDS Family Services. I live in Virginia, and so there were 2 counselors that I was able to get a hold of that worked there, but there were no opportunities available, so I kind of struck out there. I debated applying at a local high school in their counseling center and possibly talking to them. And another option I was looking at was possibly looking at local children's programs in the Richmond area to see if there was a need that I could help out there. But I was looking around and not really sure which direction I wanted to go, so I thought I would go backwards a little bit and figure out what exactly my internship was supposed to do for me in a marriage and family studies degree. And on the BYU Idaho website, under information for this degree, it gives a few points that it wants you to be able to apply your knowledge of a marriage and family studies, and also wants you to increase your understanding of how to educate others about marriage and families. And they also want you to gain confidence working in a professional environment. So when I thought about all those different things, I thought about where I was currently working, which was at the Metro Richmond Zoo. I began working there last August of 2013, and some of my current responsibilities last year there was just simply doing admissions, gift shop, concessions, and working in the PASS Center. Now, none of those related to marriage and family studies, but recently at the zoo, they opened an adventure park that has 2 adventure courses on it, and you'll see where I'm going with this just here in a minute. So their new adventure park is called Treetop Safari, and I wasn't quite working there yet. But I started to think about what I'd learned in my degree and how it could possibly apply to working at the adventure park, because you are working with families and groups all day long, and you do get to see them in a unique situation where they're having to work together, strengthen their relationships, as well as participate in family recreation. And I could just start drawing a lot of different connections to all the classes that I've taken in my degree. So I inquired. I was currently already working at the zoo, but I didn't quite have the responsibilities at the adventure park like I wanted to do for my internship. So I talked to my boss, and I told them how I thought it might be able to apply to my internship. I researched a little bit more. I opened up my textbooks, and I thought, if I'm going to apply to possibly do a marriage and family studies internship at a zipline adventure park, I knew I had to do my research and figure out if it was actually going to work. And then I did apply. I applied at the zoo to see if they were going to be able to accept that, as well as I applied online, and I did some research, and I wanted to show that I could draw a lot of connections between the two. And then I was accepted. I was not only accepted by the zoo to gain those new responsibilities, but I did get accepted online to do my internship there as well, and I was pretty excited to get that rolling. So what is it? I thought before I tell you what I did at the internship, I should tell you what exactly an adventure park is. So it's a zipline adventure park. There are 2 courses at the zoo. There is a junior course, which is lower to the ground, and you have to be 4 years old to go on that. So we do get a lot of younger children and their parents, as well as nannies and older siblings, and there's a lot of unique dynamics I was able to observe there on that younger course. And we also have our Treetop Safari course, which is for 8 and up, and that one's more of a family-friendly course that a lot of siblings and their parents are able to go on, as well as older teens, and even people of all ages, up to, I think the oldest we've had go on it is 83. So it's a really family-friendly course. You do go tree to tree, as you can see in this picture. There are platforms up in the trees, and it's more than just zip lines. It's a lot of obstacles that they're going to be doing, and a few examples of those are floating logs, tight wires, and Tarzan swings. And in the picture you can see that they're going across a bridge. And there's a lot of hard obstacles that you have to navigate, and a lot of times it takes a lot of encouragement from those around you, as well as figuring out how to navigate those. And I was able to observe a lot of families and groups that came together grow closer because they were able to talk each other through it and give each other tips, as well as overcome anxiety and a lot of other factors. My job at the internship was as a course facilitator, and I shadowed the general manager. Part of what I did there was promote family recreation, and a big part of what I was doing was strengthening their relationships and communication. When you come to the adventure park, you go through a training, which I actually helped the general manager put together an additional part to the training, where you do talk about communication and how to best achieve that while people are up on the course together. More in detail about what my responsibilities were there: I did check-ins. People did need to sign waivers and get harnesses on. I aided and supervised participants while I was there. I encouraged communication between people. I taught them navigation techniques and would give them tips as I was on the ground. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this previously, but it is a self-guided course, which means you do train them, and then the staff, as I was one of the staff, are on the ground watching. And from the ground, you're able to give tips, and when people have anxiety or have issues up on the course, you go up and you help them. And I was able to get a lot of firsthand experience helping families work together and to be able to overcome the things that they run into on the course. I was able to promote group and family interaction. There was a lot of groups I was able to schedule, big companies. I was able to see those dynamics there, as well as birthday parties with families. More responsibilities that I had were I got to assist in belaying people to the ground. I applied stress and coping techniques, and that was a big connection that I saw. People do have anxiety up on the course, and they do realize that some of the obstacles are a little bit more challenging than they thought they were going to be. And so I was able to go up and use a lot of the principles that I've learned in my classes to be able to talk to people and reason with them and to make them feel comfortable and safe. I scheduled groups. I was able to talk with group leaders over the phone, as well as work with them the whole check-in process and get them everything they needed to be scheduled. I helped create community awareness through talking to a few different companies in the area, as well as worked a little bit in the advertising side, so it was a pretty good professional experience to be able to do that. And the training sessions I've touched on, but that was a big part of teaching those that came to the course how they were going to be able to work together, as well as how they could be successful in the courses together. The employer did get some benefits from me doing my internship there. I helped design and implement the participant training program. I was able to really shadow the general manager and work with him, and I was given a lot of responsibilities that way, that I was able to give my input on how the training program could be best designed to fit the needs of the people that came. I also had a background with communication and family skills, and I think that was a part of the reason that they saw the need for me to intern there. It's because of what I have learned in my degree. I had the knowledge of stress and coping skills, as well as a lot of knowledge about the dynamics of families. And there are a lot of families that come every day, and that was a major part of who I was observing while I was there. And that background knowledge helped me to be able to teach the other employees a little bit about what I knew and apply my knowledge as well. Some personal benefits I gained from working there: I was able to get a lot of professional experience. I feel a lot more comfortable being able to teach others what I know about marriage and family, and as well as I got a lot of unique experience dealing with unique situations where people did have anxiety, and also teaching them how to best communicate with each other, and it was really fun to see families grow closer together from the beginning of the course to the end of the course. I gained a lot more confidence public speaking as I gave training sessions to large groups at a time, and as well as confidence just speaking to people on a personal level in general. I gained a lot of exposure working with families, and I'm really grateful for that because I got to get to know a lot of unique circumstances and talk to parents about their children and how well they were doing on the course. And a lot of parents were able to tell me specific things about their children, and I could work with them a little bit more. I got a lot of experience with high-stress situations where people did need to come down from the course, and I did help with that. And I was able to practice using my reasoning and thinking skills to make judgment calls. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that in those high-stress situations, you have to be able to think and assess the situation and make a call that's going to be best for those on the course. And I had experience leading teams and families in those training sessions. Another personal benefit was encouraging developmental ability, and it was really cool to see children progress through the course as they developed motor skills using their clips, as well as they were able to overcome maybe a little bit of fear of heights as they were up there on the course. And a lot of the children on our junior course were very unsure of what they were doing at first, but by the end they were really able to use their cognitive skills to navigate the different obstacles and figure out the best way to do it on their own. And I also was able to apply knowledge from my degree. It's kind of hard to talk about every aspect I was able to apply in a short slideshow, but there's definitely a lot of ways that I was able to apply that. One specific way I was able to apply that was with the CBT theory, the cognitive brain theory. This is just one of many, but the CBT is the ability to control your thoughts. And for a lot of different participants, I was able to help them identify those negative distortions they were having while they were on the course, and I was able to build them up and give them some positive encouragement. And I found that when I was able to walk them through that, help them realize how to make their thoughts more positive, and giving them in turn that encouragement, I could identify what their problem was and help them continue on the course. Intentional families was another way that I was able to apply what I was learning. And I love this quote. It says, "At heart, the intentional family is a ritualizing family. It creates patterns of connecting through everyday family rituals, seasonal celebrations, special occasions, and community involvement." Definitely going out as a family and doing something like this adventure course is a way that families can become an intentional family. It's one way that they can go out of their way to do something recreational where it requires them to work together, it requires them to develop better communication skills to overcome the obstacles, and it also requires them to strengthen their relationship a little bit as they work together to overcome fear of heights, to overcome anxiety, and it also helps them to come closer together as they cheer each other on, and they're put in that situation where they have to work together to be able to complete the course. For future opportunities to possibly intern where I did, you can email employment@treetopsafari.com to see if there is a possible opportunity for you. I had an awesome experience working for them. It was a blast. This photo is just of a few other employees that work there, and they were absolutely amazing to work with, and I'm so glad that they were able to be really flexible with me and allow me an opportunity where I was able to apply everything that I learned in my degree. Thank you so much.